3-0. Worst you're getting is 3-2, and at that point, I feel like you've done enough that you should be guaranteeing your way. It's only 2 teams that are getting eliminated here out of 6, so 3 wins should always be enough to get you out of those bottom 2 spots. But weirder things have happened. Maybe some head-to-head tiebreakers could go incredibly weirdly, but we'll see. In the meantime, we need to talk about our next game, which will be Black Dragons up against Pacific Macta. We've seen both of these teams twice now today, both currently sharing a 1-1 record, 1 win and 1 loss. Pacific won 10-6 over Carbon and lost 10-8 to Q9 in a very close one. And on the other side of things, Black Dragons beat Q9 in the first match of the day, 13-11 in overtime, and then couldn't quite get the win over Boss, which was one that was a bit surprising.
Yeah, honestly, this is going to be, I think, one of the key matches in determining how the standings actually pan out, because both of these teams have very high upset potential. However, we didn't expect really to see Boss take down Black Dragons, so now they find themselves in this 1-1 record as well. So honestly, whoever comes out of this match on top is going to be, I think, a pretty strong contender for one of those spots in the bracket stage. Looking at how they've been playing so far, though, I'd still say that Black Dragons may have a slight edge here, but it's definitely slight. It's not a huge separation between these two teams. I mean, just looking at how Pacific performed in their first game, they won 10-6, very comfortable win against Carbon, and they still put up a very strong fight in their matchup against Q9 as well, but unfortunately there, they just weren't able to close it out.
Indeed, that was the case. So I think this one will end up being quite a close game between these two teams, and we've really had nothing but our biggest deficit, or I suppose gap in scores, still stands at 4 rounds. The second biggest is at 3. Both of those were Carbon's losses, and then every other game has been a 2 rounds difference. 8-10, 8-10, 8-10, and 13-11. So it's all been very, very close games so far here in the groups, and I think that's really going to continue as we move further on throughout this group stage, through the remaining 5 games of today and through the 4 of tomorrow. Pretty sure they're all going to be on that 16-18 round sort of mark.
And I know the vetoes haven't come up yet, but I do see them all on Black Widow, which could be a hint that we may be seeing Black Widow actually
Dude,
come
spoilers.
up as our map there. So
just because they're all on Black Widow doesn't mean we're playing Black Widow.
That is true. It could be just to throw us off here or until the veto comes through, but
That'd
if that
hilarious.
is indeed the map, though.
It's just a decoy this whole time. We're playing Ankara.
I would actually love to see Ankara. It's one of the few maps we haven't seen today. I don't think we've seen either that or Mexico yet at all. So
we haven't.
It's really just been sort of the core 3 maps in the pool that we've seen rotated through. But
bonus spoilers, Revenge will be using an AWM.
I'd hope so, but to be fair, he hasn't been quite as shining as I'd hoped for him to be. Honestly, earlier in the day, we saw him struggling a bit in those duels against Kai's, and then in his matchup against Q9, he wasn't one of the main factors as well. Honestly, the most impressive for me on Pacific so far has been Aldrin throughout his matches today.
Yes,
He's really been one of the key players here for Pacific's success, and I'd love to see what he can do in this matchup for his team to continue that forward as well. But honestly, this is one of the few matches I'm going to have to say is kind of a toss-up for me. Even when I see the map, I'm still not 100% sure who's going to win, but I've got a hunch it's going to be Black Widow.
I don't know what would make you think that. Black Widow's going to be banned right here. Ready? There it is. Well, look, I tried to believe, but that is, as we all suspected when we saw the players hovering over it in the match lobby there. And Black Dragons will be starting out on the global risk side of things. Pacific Macta on that aggressive side of Blacklist. So, second time we've seen Black Widow for the day. Should be an interesting one, I think. Should be a good bit of fun, as we will be jumping into it very soon. But first, we've got to have the patented Black Dragons huddle. And as you said earlier, I really like that they do this. Instead of, like, all of these teams, you know, will have a little chant, something they do sitting at their machines. But Black Dragons are the only teams that actually take the time to get away. Their in-game leader does an awful lot of talking, telling them how it's going to go down, all these sorts of things, and giving a good rundown on the way they want it to play out. And once that's all complete, then they'll go and sit down. So it's a nice little bit of team bonding, really reinforcing what they want to do, making sure everyone's on the same page coming into the game. But I think it's going to be, as you say, it's a bit tough to call. I'm going to make you call it either way, but I think it's a bit tough to call. So that in mind, what do you got? You know what? I'm going to be nice. No score, just give me a team.
I think it's going to be Pacific. I was actually leaning towards Black Dragons before I knew the map, but I think Pacific is going to have a slight advantage on this map, and I think that it is Revenge versus Vienna in the duel. And Black Widow is a map where mid control is extremely important, and Revenge is one of those players who's not afraid to be aggressive with that Alm in his hands as well. So I think they do have an advantage in that duel, because Vienna, he hasn't had a lot of success sniping today. His success has really been when he drops it and goes for those AK aggressive plays. However, if they decide not to snipe against Revenge at all, that's what opens up some opportunity, I think, for Black Dragons to really take this away. They haven't had success with it, and if they realize that quickly and don't try to just counter snipe against Revenge, they could have a chance here as well. Honestly, I think this could be a potential overtime match. We're looking at both of these teams have had already very close matches. Black Dragons going into overtime already once today. And of course, Pacific, they had a 10-8 as their most recent game as well. So honestly, a match I'd expect to go the distance as we've seen throughout the day. And honestly, it's because both of these teams know what that 2-1 really means for their record moving forward. It's one step closer to securing potentially 3 wins is what you're looking at here to make it into that bracket stage. Obviously, we do have Carbon as sort of that first team to fall under, but nobody's completely under just yet. But that 2-1, very crucial in making it happen for both of these teams, because moving forward, they've both got some difficult matchups ahead of them. I mean, after this, Black Dragons, their next map is going to be against AG. And Pacific, they're going to be going up against Boss, so still very hard matches on the way for both of these teams. So either one of them going to be wanting for that 2-1 now, but Black Dragons getting ready for their quick chant here as they get in their circle.
There they are, all fired up, sitting down now at their computers, getting ready to go here. Should be a good match. I mean, as you've said, all of our games today have been close, with the largest, I suppose the shortest game that we've had has been 16 rounds, with the majority being 18. And I think, given that last map was a 10-7, given we had the overtime early, I'm pretty sure our average rounds per game is still just over 18. I think we've played more than... Again, I'm not doing maths on stream, so I always suck at it. We've played 6 games, and we've played more than whatever 6 times 18 is in rounds, I think. So yes, just over 18 rounds average per game.
Right now, though, we're getting ready to hop in. The red lights are on. That means it's go time for both of these teams, and it is going to be Black Widow to decide who moves up into that second place position in our standings. AG going to be sitting 2-0, but one of these teams could be sitting nicely right behind them with a 2-1 record after this one is done. So definitely an important match on the way for both of these teams, but it all comes down to how they started off here. Early momentum, definitely a huge factor for both of these teams, but at the end of the day, only one can walk away with a positive record here after this third match for both of them. As we see it though, everybody's getting ready. They're loading into the lobby here, and we'll be right into the action, but definitely a match where it's going to be close to say the least. But as always on Black Widow, it is going to be that Blacklist side, feeling a bit more comfortable to start it off, and it is going to be Pacific on the Blacklist side, which is actually why I predicted them to be the winners here. And of course, Aldrin starts it off with the opening pick. RGXM immediately trades it with a double kill. Big opening to start this one off for Pacific, and it's already a 2-on-4.
ADRF and Notzin with a lot of work to do. Revenge only just now rotating off of mid with that AWM, going to help his teammates out A-long. CBD is looking for this and will spot out that player coming through. The spray is a bit messy from both players. In the end, it is ADRF who grabs it, but the 2 versus 3 now. A little bit more doable than the 2v4 was, but got to rotate all the way over to that A-bomb site somehow. And while they do have a bit of utility to use to get them in, it's not going to be a particularly easy retake, especially now that Revenge is posted up here on the window. ZYK holding the catwalk as well. This is a difficult retake. They will go for it. 1 player out long, 1 player up short. Got to do what they can, but it's going to be incredibly tough indeed. The AWM of Revenge is not ready for that one at all. The swing comes out, but ADRF is being tagged down. Notzin needs to be the play maker here and can't quite find that trade on ZYK. He's looking for it. He'll eventually get it swinging back around. Another 2v1. RGXM, he got 2 frags to start this round. He needs 2 frags to close it. He swings out and finds the timing. Now ADRF, very, very low indeed. Taps the bomb, draws out the peak. Will tap it again, and this time RGXM has to go and commit, but the wide swing is in. And he will manage to close that with a 4 frag in round number 1.
Beautiful play from RGXM there. He knew the timing on the bomb wasn't going to be enough, forced him to stick the defuse there. And just like that, a clean first round goes their way. Still going down to the wire. Black Dragons doing a great job of trying to turn it around. They just fell a little bit short there, and now Will and Danimal are going to be going for a similar play, getting a little bit aggressive here towards A-long, but they're playing close up against the wall, so the wide peaks can't see them here. Vienna throws a pop flash, they peek off of it, but unfortunately, again, RGXM being the hero of the day on these A-long contests here, comes out on top with 2 of his own. Aldrin again with another there as well. And again, we already see the numbers down situations for Black Dragons.
Indeed we do. ADRF with the AWM will get himself the 1 frag onto ZYK, but he needs 4 more to close this. A full ace is needed, and Aldrin's already going to put the pressure on. He will manage to get the spray through the box as well to close it out. And that's a dominant 2-0 start here for Pacific Macta. By the way, I did the maths quickly on my phone because my brain can't do it, but we're so far, not including the 2 rounds we just played, we're at an average of 18.5 rounds a match.
Definitely something that could continue, but right now, Pacific, this is a very confident start, but they can't be reliant too much on the scoreline just yet because it has been RGXM who got 2 pretty insane openings, and that's not something I would consider to move forward consistently from this guy, but already 6-0, 2 rounds in. Definitely a feat in itself, and now he's going to have a chance to prove it once again. This time, ADRF, though, gets the shutdown, but Aldrin and ZDD already there to pick up trade frags as well. Will finds one, but he's going to be very lit. He goes down from the trade spray. ZYK finds him. Notson has to do something big here, but it's only going to be 1 and done. It's not enough. Vienna, though, finds a frag on the cross to that B-bomb site. And it's going to be Sniper v Sniper here. Revenge versus Vienna for the round, and the C4 is in Revenge's hands as well, but Vienna, he swaps to the AK. Smart decision here. He knows he can't win the aim duel if it's not going to be an AK in his hands, and that's exactly what he'll do. Go for the wide peak. And just like that, Black Dragons, a bit of confidence now in their fight here.
Interestingly, though, Vienna just won the round. His teammates were the ones yelling, not him. In previous games, we've seen he's been one of the most vocal on his team, but obviously, bit of pressure coming into it. He knows that 1v1 was very close indeed, and it's his teammates getting hyped, not him. Danimal misses a bit of a sitter. It's unfortunate for him, but Aldrin will go out and grab that opening frag that PM need.
Right now, Pacific, between Aldrin and RGXM, they've been phenomenal at finding these entry points for their team, and especially towards A-long. Black Dragons just hasn't been able to contest here. They really need to rethink how they position themselves. A-long, Will in a position where he kind of wants to go for this re-peak here, but he knows that there could be potentially a couple more players out there waiting for him. But Black Dragons, they need to make a risky move here as they know they are down in numbers. But Vienna starts it off right, takes down Revenge. Definitely a nice chance for him to win that duel. And now we see ZDD getting very aggressive on Cat here. Aldrin now coming in to support with him as well. But Will, he's found the opening on A, finds himself a double, gets the triple kill. That's going to be a huge hold on the A-bomb side. And now it's ZDD all alone in a 1v4. He finds Notson, but surely this should be Black Dragons with the tie here.
Very much looks to be that way unless ZDD can pull off something truly spectacular. Will's already found himself 3 frags in the round. And ZDD going to go up into short, move out along the catwalk, but it's such an open angle. Will goes for a 1-tap and does miss it, but the grenade's out. ZDD's actually found another. He's making this more doable. And he's going to rotate out as well. Does get tagged down low, but now he's playing the mind games. Falls back just a little bit, tries to fake him out, maybe draw a rotate away, but no such luck just yet for ZDD. It's a difficult one for him. He does have to go get that bomb. That's still down on the cap. Actually, no, it's down in the... Oh, no, the spawn ramp. That's a pretty terrible place for that to be now, though. We know faking for ZDD. They know he can't go too far. Just going to have to win the straight-up aim duel here. The wide peak is out. Will just going to fall back very sensibly, playing the time game and making time for Vienna to come in and do that.
That is going to be a big answer back from Black Dragons. They fall 2 straight, but win 2 straight with a nice quick answer there. It's all tied up here. As we sort of predicted here, this would be a very, very close game, and now Pacific, this is their chance to still hold on and maintain a lead. And on that blacklist side of Black Widow, we've seen how important making sure you win this half can be. So Pacific really in a situation where they've got to win it on this blacklist half. Otherwise, Black Dragons, they're going to have a huge advantage if they somehow take this GR side in their favor. Revenge, though, he's going to be working up catwalk here, looking for somebody to potentially peek out onto him. Nobody going to give him the time of day just yet. The rest of his team, though, going to be working up towards A-long. But Revenge, he goes for the wide peek, takes down Will. The trade doesn't even come through. He gets out of there with 14 HP. That is a nice way to get the ball rolling for Pacific in round number 5.
It is indeed, and Revenge has been very, very impactful with this AWM. We've seen it an awful lot so far in the games that he's played, and he's continuing it here. Vienna rotates over onto the A-bomb side and has a look down long. Spot ZYK out the back, but no such luck just yet. Animal's going for a very awkward duel here with ZDD. It's a nade out, but will have to fall back instead. actually a bit of an awkward situation for everyone involved, but Danimal's going to go down. ZDD will find the timing, and now Vienna has to come up huge on the A-bomb side, finds one, but no more than that. 2 versus 4, not an ADRF. ADRF already coming in quick on the flank. Spray in, nade in, no kill just yet. Let's go down, come at it through the spawn ramp. Knotson can't go out this window. RGXM is right there waiting for him. That nade is not going to do enough. The flashbang will force them off, but now 2v4. They've got to go together. 27 seconds left on the bomb. ADRF going to find the one. Moving in here, flashbangs out as well. It's doable for them. The players are all very, very tagged indeed, and in they will go. Revenge! Nice, one tap will get rid of him. ADRF goes up now. The kill starts to come in, and players behind them. Knotson jumps over him, but still manages to find it, and will grab that defuse with plenty of time remaining. A 2 versus 4 converted.
Great play coming out from Knotson there as well. Just impeccable timing. I was a little bit worried, though, that they weren't going to find that last player under the A window. He was in a little cheeky corner spot there, but they still do their due diligence. They check their corners, and they come out on top. Right now, though, we're going to see a quick engage here over towards long A. They're going to push out onto Aldrin, but of course, Aldrin and RGXM both ready and waiting for these early round A duels, and they consistently come out on top. And again, they both pick up a frag, and they're able to fall back without losing a single hit point to start off this round. Great way to get things kicked off here, as they are looking to tie this one up. Black Dragons, though, they're on 3 straight rounds in a row. ADRF gets the opener here, but RGXM comes in back swinging, and it's going to be 2 frags for Pacific as they now make this one a 1v4 retake for Knotson. He made it happen in the 2v4, but surely not here in a 1-on-4.
Surely not, and that's where all of these rounds have really come from for Black Dragons. It's not been that they've been able to lock this down in the post or the pre-plan a lot of the time, the early round. A lot of their wins have just come through with these retakes after having lost 1 or 2 players towards A long, so that's something they'll really need to look at moving further into this game, not just losing 2 players for free every single time. Revenge is going to post up top mid, take an angle down into the catwalk. Won't find anyone playing there just yet. In the meantime, ZDD's come up through B, hoping to establish a bit of mid-control here for the attacking side. Something to point out as well is that Danimal is currently 0-6 here, Carl. Having a pretty rough start.
Yeah, definitely not a player you expect to be on the bottom of the scoreboards here, but he's honestly not had any shining performances so far in the entire event, but the rest of his team definitely picked up the pace. It's going to be Will and Vienna starting it off right with that 2-for-1 trade as Danimal goes to now 0-7, but his team has been utilizing his positioning effectively to at least trade out, so it's definitely not a loss to say the least for Black Dragons so far. 4-on-3 as well. Pacific looking for some sort of an opening here, as they are just moments away from letting another round fall here to Black Dragons, who honestly have had one of the more solid defenses we've seen so far on this map. And Vienna continues to play strong, but ZYK, very quick trade. He misses the reaction shot there, though, and now comes down to a 2v3.
Bomb site under control of the attackers now, but Will anchoring down day long. Will grab that frag onto ZYK now. ZDD left all alone. Moving down through mid, does have the C4, so can adventure over to B if he so chooses, and I think he's just managed to get the timing onto Knotson as well. Looks like he'll just about make it past, so can go into B, and for now, Pacific Macta are not aware of this, or well, I'm sure they are, but they're not rotating for it just yet, choosing instead to play the numbers game, take that 3 versus 1 in a 3v1 and not giving him 3 1v1. So ZDD will have the freedom to plant wherever he wants here now that he's been through and cleared out the entire B-bomb site. Will plant very open, so there's a chance to fight this one from a lot of angles, but now that the rotations come in, really, he needs to find this first frag immediately. He can't let them come out in 3v1. He needs to find that first kill, and he's gone for it. He's been able to find it. The grenade is out. They're all tagged. There's a chance, but the flashbang is perfect. ZDD, 1 versus 3. What can he do? The first peek comes in, drill peek, and he can't do anything, as a matter of fact. Knotson cleans him up. And that'll be another round where the retake is successful for Black Dragons.
Now they find themselves in a lead here once again, but still a very, very close map here. 4-3, just 1 round separates these 2 teams, and right now they are both vying for that 2-1 record in their overall standings here, and it would be a very solid step forward towards a potential bracket stage spot. Only the top 4 of these 6 teams able to make it through to that stage. Danimal, though, still needing to step it up for his squad here, 0-7. If he steps up to the plate, Black Dragons could be even more impactful here on this map. But here we see it. Pacific, they went for the early play A long, but they saw no contest, so they make the immediate decision to go for mid control, which is actually very smart here because they know Black Dragons had to have gotten aggressive because they push out for A every single round. Black Dragons, they're going to get a whole lot of Pacific players going at them here on Catwalk. Danimal, of course, the first to go down again, 0 and 8, continuously being that non-factor for Black Dragons, and it's another 4v5 already, but Pacific, this is their chance to tie it up now.
That one is understandable. Danimal got nade stacks, so he was low HP before the peak even came, but still, he's not been able to get much done. And neither of the rest of his team, they've gotten 2 frags out of it, but they're down in a 2 versus 4. As many players left on their team as they've killed on the other, and there's ZDD with an excellently timed little lurk. Catches out Notson on the timing, and Vienna, 1 versus 3. Going for this one. We'll get in here, but there's a player to his right that doesn't know about. ZDD's just playing the lurk game, and he will grab that headshot as well, chopping him off, or cutting him off as they go through mid. That's another excellent round coming out here to keep us all tied up from Pacific. 4 rounds apiece.
And now a very important round is on the table for Black Dragons. If you can win your Global Risk half on Black Widow, it gives you a lot of momentum going into that second half, and honestly could give them a chance to close this one out in their favor. Pacific, they really need to hang on here. Losing a Blacklist half on Black Widow generally doesn't lead to anything other than a loss here, so Black Dragons still looking for that final round. Now would be the moment for Danimal to step up to the plate here and help them close it out. Otherwise, he's going to be going down with 0 kills in the entirety of the first half, which is honestly fairly unheard of here. But Revenge as well on the other side of things. He hasn't been too much of a factor on this map, sitting at 2 and 6 himself. Generally one of the key players here on Pacific, but so far on this map, it's really been all about Aldrin and RGXM getting these early round entries. But we do see an interesting setup coming out from Black Dragons. They've got 3 positioned here on these A-long choke points, and they're really just going to be playing for that flick around onto the catwalk. It's going to be interesting, though, to see how they decided to take this one on Pacific. They've got it grouped up for a potential A pinch, but Black Dragons, they've already got 3 people here for it, so it's really going to be about that flick response here on the catwalk push.
I'm hoping that Danimal can get himself involved and get his first, and what may be his only frag of the half. He goes 1 for 1, but at least get something. In the meantime, though, it's Vienna who will have the early pressure. Throws a flashbang in to buy some space for Danimal, and in he will go, looking for the frags. Finds himself his first. The player behind him, he still doesn't know it. RGXM takes him down from the corner. But Danimal does get 1, so he won't be finishing the half 0 and 9. It's 1 and 9 instead. Revenge now getting involved towards A long, and will be spotted out. Great shot coming in from Vienna. Now the 2 versus 3 for ZDD and RGXM. Time starting to tick. They've actually found their way past Vienna here. That will give them the opening frag, but now RGXM 1 versus 2 on the bomb site. Both players coming in from mid, and he will be looking for them, but can't spot it, so just goes for the bomb plant instead. Now time to try and play the post plant. He spots them both out. Now he has the info. RGXM, he can try and play this one. Looking for the first entry. Finds the headshot now. 1v1 looking for Notsim. Can't quite find it, but we'll go down for cover, and Notsim cleans it up just barely. That's going to be a Global Risk win on Black Widow.
Definitely a big boost of momentum now for Black Dragons, and you can see the confidence they have now because they know they are a very strong Blacklist side team, and Black Widow is a map that leans towards that favorite as well. So after winning the Global Risk half, they've got to be feeling pretty confident after that one.
Have to think so. Should indeed be a good time for them, but of course this game is still only a 1-round lead, and while we are moving into the team in the lead being on the biased side, we did just have a team on the biased side lose, so anything can happen yet. We will see as we get further and further into this game. The Black Dragons have put themselves in a good spot here. Managed to come up 1 round ahead on the defensive side, now heading into the attack, and lots of discussions being had, no doubt, about how best to proceed, how best to go forwards to grab themselves this win. See how they choose to attack it here, though, as we will move into half number 2.
And again, we see Black Dragons potentially doing what they did on Port earlier and just going for an aggressive first round to start off the half. They're going to send all of their numbers towards mid and B early on here. Nobody going to contest this A-long position, but ZDD already gets the entry frag, but Notson, he's there to trade it out immediately. Still an even number situation on the table, but they are very cautious now after that early engage. They're waiting to see if Pacific get a little bit antsy here over towards A, but they're just going to anchor down and have RGXM holding this A-long position from the back of barracks, just waiting for someone to potentially peek and get caught off guard here. So Definitely a great situation for Black Dragons to get it kicked off. They got the early pick that they were looking for, but Will finds them another frag, and it's just going to be a complete onslaught here onto the B-bomb site. They get all of the entries they need, and it's just RGXM and Revenge trying to hang on now.
And Revenge, that smoke, not quite going to cloud his vision in time for him to not see the players crossing, but he won't get the shot off at quite the right time. And now the 4v2. Excellent entry work coming out from Will and Notson. Revenge and RGXM have to go for this one, 2 versus 4. Already been caught off by Vienna as well, lurking around. Grabs himself a second kill at the back of B. They've spotted out Revenge as well, and they will grab that. That's a flawless round pretty much. Majority of their players alive, finishing it up. And that's an excellent start now on their blacklist side. They wanted this confident start. They wanted it on the side where they're biased to win. And they've done it so far. Now, the A-low aggression. We've seen this a lot of times from both teams. Lots of utility used to open it up. And there was 4 players here briefly from that defensive side of Pacific Macta.
Yeah, they definitely scared them off with that utility usage there in Pacific. They're going to just sort of revert to a much more passive approach in this round. Black Dragons, though, they're going to go ahead and just back off here, but they have used a lot of utility so far in Revenge. He's actually going to get the opening here, takes down Vienna, and it's already looking like a pretty favorable situation here to start it off for Pacific. Will already down to half HP as well. RGXM going to be sitting around that halfway point as well. I'm going to see what they have in store for us to close this one out. Pacific, though, definitely in need of a good start here on the second half. They don't want the blacklist side to build that momentum because it is already a map that tends to lean that direction. So Black Dragons, they'll go for an aggressive play, but it's not going to work out. RGXM finds himself an opener here. It's already going to be a 5-on-3. Danimal goes in for the exchange here, but it's just not going to happen. One by one, they continue to crumble under the pressure from Pacific.
Another one falls as well. It's all left up to Will. 1 versus 5. We've seen 1 ace today, but we haven't seen a 1 versus 5 just yet. See if it's possible here for Will, but already on half HP. A minute to play with. Bomb not in his possession either. We'll have to go and get that one. It's going to be a very difficult round for him indeed if he wants to try and pull it back. 4 of those players are tagged. In fact, all of them have lost a little bit of HP too. Well, some amount of HP, but still going to be very difficult. There's the opener found into Revenge though. Every clutch starts with the first kill.
Now we'll see if he can really get his way back into this one. But all 4 remaining players just zoned in perfectly on this position here. They know exactly where he has to come from. So Will, he's going to try and play the time the best he can and get all the way behind them. But this has to be a perfect play at this point. They know that a full wrap could happen, so they start to spread out a little bit here, fanning out, making sure they can just trade, because that's all they have to do at this point. And ZYK is going to bring it to a close here. 6-5 now. Black Dragons still on top, but Pacific get a nice defensive round to go their way.
That said though, Black Dragons straight back on the aggression. This time 4 players heading over towards B, 1 holding mid, trying to spot something out. They get a bit of damage through onto Revenge, not too much, but ZDD still here to back this one up. Aldrin's floating over as well. Now they're ready for this mid push to come in. Revenge hits a nice little quick scope. Second flick comes in as well, locking it down. His teammates come through to help. 2 versus 4, make that just 1. It's all that's up to Danimal on his own, and ZDD will take him down. That's an excellent round from Pacific.
And just like that, it's all going to be tied up here. Pacific making this defense their own, and both of these teams taking the metagame here on Black Widow and sort of just ruining it, making their global risk sides a lot more aggressive than we're used to seeing, and it's honestly starting to pay off here. And Black Dragons, they're still not out of this one just yet. They've got a lot of time left on what's generally the more favorable side, but right now, Pacific, they're doing a great job of grabbing early map control and making sure they just play the positional game to a big advantage here. Vienna, though, he's going to try and sneak up Cat, potentially scope out a player towards this A bomb site, but it's only going to be Aldrin just playing the safe cross here, so definitely has to be a fast reaction shot if they do want to take him out here. 2 players still position A long as well, so there's definitely a solid pinch on this A bomb site execution. They do have Revenge close by from the mid double doors.
That said, if they can pick Aldrin, then plant towards short, and then maybe you can open that one up, but that's a big miss there from Vienna. It's a tough shot to hit, but that would have been it to open up the bomb site, and Aldrin's actually going to do one better and trade out the player that missed the shot. Aldrin's still looking for more here. He's going to shut down a second one with a headshot. Revenge is here now as well. There's a quick 2 kills going back in, but ZYK will maintain control. Now Notson, 1 versus 3. It feels like every round's come down to a big clutch necessary for Black Dragons, and they've not been able to convert them so far. Very difficult situations to be in. feel like this is a pretty easy one for Pacific to clean it up, and indeed it is. Something needs to change here for Black Dragons, because we're really not having too much luck so far, but a new round is already upon us. We'll see if they do something different.
Black Dragons really in a situation where they're just not able to contest this A-long play that comes out almost every round now from Pacific Macta. They take control of A-long, they anchor it down, and then they're able to freely roam the rest of the map, not having to worry about an A-long execution. And this is what Black Dragons needs to sort of adjust for, because now they're slowly getting funneled into having to take a mid or B approach on the round, and that's exactly what Pacific wants in these situations. They have their power fraggers in position here on mid and B to just sort of frag out and take them out and pick them apart. So really just having one anchor down A-long has been a very helpful approach here for Pacific. They give themselves a lot of opportunity to rotate swiftly in these bomb sites. Black Dragons, though, they go for the B push. Danimal gets a quick headshot there on the ZDD, and it's already a 5-on-4. The rotation's now coming through, but it's not going to matter so far. There's no one directly on this bomb side hold, so Pacific, they're going to have to go in guns blazing for a full retake here. 4v5. Very difficult situation to approach, as the bomb will get planted for all these players on box room as well. Great positioning from Will. He only just has to frag out here and stall for the window rotations here. And Black Dragons should be looking at a potential round on the board now.
Should be. The flank is coming from behind them, but they have spotted it. Revenge is going to move in that way as well, but not a lot that can be done as the timer ticks lower and lower. ADRF will find the first. Revenge spots out a player, but can't get the arm leveled quickly enough, and will miss that one. Here comes utility as well. 2 quick frags come in from the remaining defenders, but it's all Aldrin. He's still doing work. He's looking for a big play here, but runs out of ammo at just the wrong moment. And that will be a Black Dragons win coming through, one that they so desperately needed. You know, you were talking there about how they got their power fraggers on B and on mid, and that's true, but they only had one on B, and therefore, if you explode onto B, you pick that one player. Exactly what can just happen can. That's what makes that one possible. Setup should be changing slightly now. It's Revenge missing a shot in towards mid. A rare miss from him. Once again, B is vulnerable, but this time Aldrin's towards mid, so that Revenge is free to move around as he wishes. We'll see if Black Dragon can grab themselves a lead once again here as we sit tied 7-7.
Definitely a nice reposition based around their same setup, though. Pacific this time, they know they have that player posted A-long, so they're going to use even less resources over towards holding this A bomb site. Now they have 2 players in position to stall on the B bomb site rather than just ZDD here. Revenge going to be playing for that window peek here. We'll see if he can catch a couple players off guard. Has a chance at a big collateral, but actually misses it. But ZDD, he's still holding it off here nicely from under the windows. And Revenge, he finds the follow-up here. The rotation comes through. Aldrin downs the bomb on the cross. It's Will going to fall very early. Danimal finds himself one through the smoke, though. It's still a winnable situation for either team, but Danimal and Notson are fighting out of a pit of death here on this B bomb site, and it's actually going to be Notson. He was on the flank just watching the back of his teammates, and now he's going to have to regroup here to help Danimal get out of this situation. He's stuck under window, so he's just forced to plant this bomb here. And they're going to force this 2-on-3. It's going to be a spot, though, from ZYK. Can't connect on the shot, though. He's taken out. Revenge, he's going to run into some trouble here, but it's not going to matter. Danimal goes down to RGXM, and it's a 1v2 for Notson. He's going to go for the wide peek here. Actually goes through the window, though, and that's going to be a nice play coming out from Pacific. And just like that, they do manage to hold on.
Black Dragons cannot know it. They can't know what's happening on the other side of the map where they're not, but a play out long here would really help them at least. Get the info, stop that player getting there, and halt this quick rotate coming in from Pacific, because that is really what's allowing them to move so much. They're sending, look at it right now on the map in your lower left, 3 players down towards long just to get that one player RGXM into pit. Then those 2 players fall back off. They're going to send one over towards mid, or no, they've actually changed the setup. They're aggressive in B, but either way, that one player anchoring down towards long gives them so much information. They know it's not going to be a long. They'll hear it or spot it if it comes mid due to Revenge here with the AWM. They're just having an awful lot of info here. Black Dragons really aren't stopping them taking.
Right now, Black Dragons, they really need to think of a way to exploit this player now that he's alone. That's really their best chance for an entry here, because once they take down RGXM, they have a huge opening to take control of this A bomb site. Most of the players are set up to pinch mid or to take over this B on a retake very quickly, so taking down RGXM would be a nice way to get things rolling for Black Dragons, but they don't seem too eager to head over to his position. They're just playing for mid control. It looks like we see potentially a late B take coming out once again, but unfortunately, Pacific Macta, they're not really capitalizing on this setup too effectively. Again, they have a lot of resources towards A for only they don't really need this kind of control. I mean, they've already got RGXM positioned A long. They've got 2 players on A, and they still have one just sitting close by in mid, leaving just ZDD with less than half HP by himself on the B-bomb side. So if Black Dragons go into this B-bomb side execution, they actually have a very high potential to succeed here, even though it is going to be a 5v5 heading in.
Especially if they get the smokes down in the door and block Aldrin from being able to get in. But the crucial part is they have to get out without making too much noise, or else Aldrin is going to spin around and come straight in. There's a window where he can't do it right now, and Vienna's actually going to walk out through mid and take down 2 players. That's a perfect adjustment, except for the fact that ZDD is allowed to get 2 in that situation. Let's bring it back into a 2v2 with Revenge picking up the mid flank as well. The retake is already on its way. The bomb not yet down. Revenge can't get too antsy here without that bomb being planted. Doesn't want to give himself away for free. He stands a significant risk of doing that, but now he's okay falling outside the window. RGXM already wants to go in here, and the bomb not yet planted. Revenge goes 1 for 1. Now, Danimal up against RGXM, and Danimal's going to get the clutch. You can see how much it means to him as well. That's a big round for Black Dragons. Finally, they managed to triumph in a crucial one, and they keep Pacific Macta off match point.
And now this is truly going to be a game that goes the distance, 8-8 on the board now. Anyone's game for the taking. A complete reset here as we go into the final 2 rounds of regulation. Overtime, definitely a strong possibility, but Revenge, again, almost getting caught there on the mid-ramp. But this time, he's going to be caught as he falls off by ADRF. And now Black Dragons looking very confident here in this 17th round. We're going to see if they can find the opening they need to close it out, though. As we've seen Pacific, a team that can easily turn these rounds back on their head. But again, Black Dragons, they're on the more favorable side here, and now they have the advantage to work with on this round as well. Now it's just a matter of capitalizing on it, and now they finally are going for the challenge that they've been waiting to take this entire half. RGXM, if he can hold this off, it would be a huge statement for his team, but Will, the one and done, taps him down. And it's going to be a huge momentum boost for Black Dragons to be able to take this one away. 2 players, though, rotating very quickly. It's already going to be Aldrin getting onto the A staircase. He's going to lay down that spray to stall it. He finds one in the process, finds the double kill. He's still alive here. And Black Dragons, they're not able to capitalize on this push. ZYK gets the drop shot in mid, takes down Vienna. This 2v5 becomes a 2v2 very quickly, and now it's Will and Notson trying to hold on here to what should have been theirs from the start, and now it's going to be a full rotation here as Notson and Will look to try and take this one all the way over to B.
They do at least have a window of time in which this is possible. Both of the Global Risk players for now have grouped up on A, but now floating one back over into mid. It's ZYK on a move. And in fact, both players are now looking to cheat over towards B a little bit. This is just going to be the dynamic pairs. Both teams looking to take it, not wanting to give up a 1 versus 1. But now they have separated. Aldrin's got an awful lot of info, but he's also quite tagged. This is very risky indeed, but we will know this bomb is about to go down B, and ZYK spotted both crossing. It's going to be the cue for Aldrin to move in as well. This is a risky one. HP is largely even between the 2 teams. I think there's a little bit more, but not with that. ZYK finds Notson. It's all up to Will. 1 versus 2. Bomb down, and he can't do it. It's 9 rounds going the way of the Global Risk side, Pacific Macta. And now we're looking at a defensive-sided win, which we didn't expect, or we're looking at overtime.
And Black Dragons, all too familiar with the situation. They took it into overtime earlier to beat Q9. We'll see if they can do it again here now against Pacific on Black Widow. But winning on this Blacklist half should be something that they can do here. So definitely not out of the question. They just need to be ready for these rotations from Pacific that have been completely on point here and just devastating to shut them down. Everyone on Pacific as well, fragging strong as a team, but it is nice to see Danimal in the mix here now as well for Black Dragons. So both teams across the board actually fragging pretty evenly here. So it's just going to come down to who can close out in these high pressure situations. But RGXM, this is his chance to retake this challenge and come out on top. Last time he got 1 and done, 1 tapped there by Will. This time he's going to be trying to hold it from an even more passive angle. He gets the double kill. He's not done just yet. He's going to throw down some more spray. Pulls out the Colt, gets the triple kill. It's a 4-on-2 now, and Black Dragons, they're forced to back up Vienna. He goes for the repeat. It's not going to happen. Notson's left alone, and it's a 1v4. Surely the map is in Pacific's hands.
You'd have to think so at this point, Notson. Not much he can do. Very difficult situation. The C4 still down in their spawn, so he's got to try and find himself a frag here. But 1v4, we'll go through window and look for it. I think he's just missed the timing onto CDD, but he will spot him. That's the 1 kill. That's his position given away as well, but still has to go back for that bomb. And all 3 players on Pacific choosing to push together out of a long. And they've just found the bomb. That is a gigantic issue now. They're just going to sit here in the blacklist spawn and hold on to it. Notson, he's lost the bomb. He doesn't even know it yet, but he's about to get peeked out, and there they go. It's another 10-8. You can see how much it means to him. Pacific Macta will be the first team to go 2-1.
Definitely a great performance from both teams there, but you can see the looks on their faces. Black Dragons definitely disappointed with how that one ended up closing out itself, but it is going to be Black Dragons falling to 1-2, as we do see Pacific Macta now 2-1. They do take the helm as that second place team currently, but only time will tell if they can actually hold on to it. But Black Dragons definitely have to give them credit here. They've had so many close games, every game they've played within 2 rounds, so that 1-2 record definitely is digging at them considering how well they've been playing, even with that record to their name. So Pacific, they're going to be able to take the win here, but it's definitely not over for Black Dragons just yet.
Indeed it is not, and that was a very good game from them. And in fact, a game where I think we would have seen, in fact we did see, more defensive-sided wins than attacking. So much for that blacklist bias.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw a 5-4 half coming out from Black Dragons and then a 6-3 to close it from Pacific. So overall, just very strong performances on the defensive halves of Black Widow. Not something we normally see, but hey, you know, it worked really well for Pacific. They had tons of frags across the board in that second half, but honestly, still at the end of the day, Aldrin has to be my MVP of this team.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. It's so many high-impact rounds where he was just able to get 1 or 2 kills in such a tight position. There was charging out A long on that attacking side and grabbing himself the double spray down if RGXM didn't, or he was lurking mid, rotating into B, anything. He was always able to grab a multi-kill wherever he went, and that sort of firepower, you can't fault that.
Yeah, and now they sit in a great position now, 2-1, only just behind AG, who could still potentially fall 2-1 as well. So they're in a position where they could soon actually be in a tie for that first place position, assuming Q9 is able to come out on top against AG, which is still something we're yet to see, but that is actually our next match on the way as well. So AG and Q9, a very, very intense matchup on the way.
Yeah, this is something we flagged at the very start of the day of being one of the best matches that we were going to have here. The 2 Chinese powerhouses, our 2 favorites for this entire tournament, taking this one out. Well, now the first time we'll see it. Might not be the last time. We might see them in the semis or the finals, depending on how this bracket does line up. But I think this one's going to be an incredibly good game indeed to watch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a lot of risk for Q9, especially if they fall. They go to 1-2, which is not a record we would expect from Q9 this early on in the event. But at the ssame time, that bumps AG to a 3-0 and essentially guarantees them a spot in that bracket stage. So they'd be in a great position, potentially the contender for that #1 seed as well, considering they would have beat a lot of the already strong teams in their path. Q9, honestly, probably the biggest threat to them so far.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. And I mean, at this point, we're looking at the bottom 2 teams from our group stage here are eliminated, not progressing to the tournament stage. So effectively, of course, there could be some wackiness with tiebreakers, but effectively we're looking at 3 wins is through, 3 losses out is the basics of how this is going to work. And AG are very, very close to securing that 3rd win they need.
Yeah, definitely. It's still going to be a risky situation, though, because it is a best of 1. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but we will be right back with that matchup, Q9 versus All Gamers, coming up next.